One of the images that is going around that is by far one of the greatest things that you will ever see is Howie Roseman. Because early in the parade, we saw Eagles players and from the bus, they were lobbing, I believe, Bud Lights out into the crowd because Bud Light was sponsoring a bunch of stuff. They were calling it Bird Light for the day. But then we started seeing objects kind of flying back at the Eagles bus. And it made contact with Howie Roseman. As I'm sure you can see here, I'll highlight it here with the little mouse. Howie's got this half crescent on his forehead. He got nailed in the dome with a beer can. Absolutely nailed. Did Howie Roseman go into the blue tent? Did Howie Roseman go into concussion protocol? Did Howie Roseman curl up in a ball and cry? No. Howie Roseman got that cigar out, lit that sucker up, and had himself a couple of puffs. Howie Roseman is a dog. Hungry dogs run faster. Howie Roseman maybe runs the fastest of them all. By the way, when he went up and he talked at the Art Museum steps, he said, "I bleed for this city." I don't think everybody who was down at the steps, I don't think everybody had already seen that image, and I don't think that you're able to really see the cut as prominently as you're standing, 100 yards away. But now when you go back and you look on it, Howie Roseman, it's a badass image. Absolute badass image. Let's see. Amadeo says Howie and Coop got drilled. Oh, yeah. Cooper DeJean had the Band-Aid over the eye. There was also a really funny thing that happened. Where was it at? It was Reed Blankenship. So Reed is on a bus, and people start chanting at him. Here it is. So people are getting really excited. They see the exciting whites. They believe that they have correctly identified the exciting white as Cooper DeJean. But unfortunately for those fans, it was not Cooper DeJean. It was, in fact, Reed Blankenship, who, if you look here, you're able to see it. He starts mouthing to the fans, no. We'll make it a little bit bigger here. He goes, I'm Reed. People are yelling, Coop. No. He's Reed. Is it offensive for people to confuse the one white guy for the other white guy? They're confusing the exciting whites for one another. Is that a violation? 610-632. So that was a great moment. Another great moment that came out of this parade, Dave Spadaro. Dave Spadaro had to introduce Cooper DeJean and introduce Reed Blankenship. And he didn't do it by announcing their names. Oh, no. He did it the right way. And actually, leading up to it, you can hear the guys egging Spadaro on how he needs to introduce these guys. But we'll go over to Dave Spadaro. How did you introduce Blankenship and Cooper DeJean?
This season, please, Philadelphia, give it up for the exciting Whites!
So, the exciting Whites come out. The crowd goes crazy. And then at one point, they try to get everybody going with Meek. They try. And it doesn't work as well as they probably kind of envisioned it working in their heads. But they tried their damnedest. They really did. They tried as hard as they possibly could. It didn't exactly work out. Now, there were other things that happened in this parade. But we're going to get to one of the things that I thought was one of the most beautiful moments. Because a guy who was much maligned by some people, by some media, was A.J. Brown. And A.J. Brown delivered one of the best mic drop moments in the history of Philadelphia sports parades, championship celebrations. A.J. Brown goes up in front of the crowd, and he says, I have one more thing to say.
They said I was a diva. They said all I care about was stats. You're going to get all those things wrong about me, but one thing you can get right. I'm a fucking
I'm an effing champion. It's a thing of beauty. A.J. Brown gets his redemption. A great moment. An absolutely great moment. Now, Jalen Hurts had a nice speech. It was a good speech. I wouldn't say that there were a lot of moments in it that were highlight, clip-worthy moments. But Jalen Hurts very much kind of alluding to and said at the end, the journey begins again. I'm pretty sure that these guys are sick in the head. I mean it in the best possible way, but I think a lot of these guys are legitimately sick in the head. They just won the Super Bowl. And as we outlined on Wednesday's show, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith both went to Instagram to essentially tell you that they don't care because now they want to go hunt down another championship. And that is something, my friends. To not even take the minute to celebrate the championship and just be like, no. It's great. Love it. Feels great to win a championship, but we're ready for the next one. Jalen Hurts kind of ended his speech with the same exact idea. Now, there was one other guy that we wanted to get to here because it's a guy who we needed to hear from, and it was Saquon Barkley, a guy who was brought in here, and I argue on the show, and I argued, weeks ago, is the most impactful free agent in the history of Philadelphia sports because in his first season here, he helped lead this team to a championship. Put this team largely on his back for large parts of the season, and that's not a disrespect to Jalen Hurts, who I am a big believer in and continue to give a lot of credit to. But Saquon Barkley sets the single-season record for most rushing yards between regular season and postseason in NFL history. Saquon Barkley had one hell of a year. But we get over to Saquon. Let's hear what he had to say to Philadelphia.
Family, especially being newcomers here. I want to thank Mr. Lurie. I want to thank Howie, the whole Eagles organization, my teammates. I want to thank you guys especially for us being world champs. Yeah. One thing that I've learned from being here for a short period of time is that you guys are tough, you guys are resilient, and you guys know how to fucking fight.
And there it goes. We have another mute. And this is the thing that I hated about the NBC telecast, is the length of the muting that they did. Like, I got annoyed, again, with Fox 29 doing the apology, like jumping in, but they got in and out pretty quick. NBC, for whatever reason, it was just this very, very long muted process. But you had F-bombs galore in this parade. And it got better because Landon Dickerson, who I alluded to earlier on, having arguably the best speech of the day, I would say it's probably up there. I mean, you can make the case that Jalen Hurts gave the most thoughtful, heartfelt speech, but it was so much more than that. That speech was great in its own way, but let's go over to Landon Dickerson because, again, he did one hell of a speech. Now, I don't know if we're going to do all of it right here, and I can feel my voice giving out, so this show might not last a lot longer today, but we would be remiss if we didn't bring up Landon Dickerson, what he had to say over on the Art Museum steps. Let's go to Landon, who, again, is making a very early case for getting a statue in Philadelphia.
I don't even got words to describe how happy I am right now. After 22, feeling that loss, I didn't ever want to feel that shit again.
Sorry about that. Landon Dickerson talking about the loss. It's live TV. The emotion is there. Back to Landon.
I just got one last thing to say. Go fuck!
We cut that one off.
He drops a go effing birds.
We apologize.
My friends,
go birds is what he said.
Incredible stuff. Landon Dickerson, I told you, when he's on the street and he drops the nice little F-bomb there, it was good stuff. You kind of knew that it was going to happen up on the steps. And then it did ultimately come to pass. It was a great moment. Landon Dickerson had himself a nice speech. Jordan Mailata also had some profanity of his own. Now, is the whole point of today's show to just try to hit you with as much profanity as possible with these guys? No. But Jordan Mailata did something I don't think anybody has ever done before, at an Eagles parade at least. He led the crowd in a very well-known song. Now, we have heard Jordan Mailata in the studio flexing those golden pipes. You could tell this man's had a few, maybe had a couple of beverages. Perhaps has been yelling a lot today, so the vocal range isn't quite there as much. But Jordan Mailata, after giving a nice short speech, encourages a sing-along.
I'm not one for speeches, but I know how to sing, so I'm going to need some help. I want to sing a song that everyone here should know. Kind of sounds like this. We are the champions, my friend.
All right. All right, good fella. All right, let's see. Can he get those notes?
We are the champions.
More strong.
We are the champions.
A little straight, but good.
Come on, Philly. Of the world.
Beautiful moment. Now listen, as I said earlier, this parade, I think had just about everything you could have wanted.